my creative process has to do with recycling everyday memories, taking things that fall on the ground, just the ideas that are totally accidental, and they come to you and they speak a narrative of this lack of intention. And so when when I walk in the street, I see all these items of urban decay, just little, you know, whether it be a straw or something more like a blown out speaker, and you see the wires like spilling out, and these ideas, they connect, and they aesthetically and formally connect to the point where they become abstract landscapes to me. I see, you know, paint cracking and seeping like snakes into the, you know, the wires from a rusting car, and it's like a painting to me. So I got this space for free because I got some friends who live in this building, and they offered me this basement because they like art. This is kind of the quarantine zone here. This is where I throw my work when I need to take a break from it. I just stack it up in, you know, like material that I do a lot of layers of you know, pigment or whatever. I just throw into here, and then I deal with it later, organize it, whatnot. This is a piece I've been working on for a long time. This is processing. This piece right here is processing my photography with this guy, James Diggs. He likes to drink, he lives in public housing, and he doesn't have a job. And so when I photograph him, I really question my role as the artist, and it brings me to a lot of anguish, depression, whatever negativity you want to say, but I use these canvases as a way to digest all of my thoughts in doing this street photography. So, you know, like, this is a piece I've been working on for a long time. It's a very confused piece. It's not very clear as to any forms of representation in these lines, but it has, to me, it has a very clear meaning in that it is representational of these photographs. Most importantly, walking and being your own explorer, I think, of any depressing situation where you see disparity breaking out into the space of nothingness. Sometimes that's what you got to do to discover yourself, and it's a process of developing individuality. I think the most important thing to me as an artist is a sense of consciousness, making an effort to say something specific, and being conscious of that. it's an entirely mixed media experience for me. I find it very difficult to to tie myself down in one combination of materials, and that's why I love trash. That's why I gravitate towards this, like, you know, this runoff of urban culture where the mix and grind of everybody, the everyday life, it leaves this, like, this nasty paste of urban existence that just, like, it spreads out from the streets, and it slides down cement sides, and, you know, it comes to accumulate in certain spots where there are fences or train tracks or wherever they be, these boundaries that are, like, designed by human beings, you know, urban planners, architects, artists, you know, anybody. They put houses and walls in certain places and train tracks, and they all serve purposes. And along the boundaries of everything, you'll find, you know, these little pockets of just paste and shit. Like, you'll find mattresses, a lot of liquor bottles, you know, tires, diapers, nasty, like, dead domestic animals. And then there'll be these beautiful graffiti murals. Like, underneath of a bridge, you'll go from mattress to dead animal to, like, one of the most beautiful walls you could, you can't argue with a heavily inhabited graffiti mural. Like, the artistry that goes into that, the danger, the risk, and the intent, you can't hate on that. That's a beautiful thing. And so I have a specific objective to develop that piece, but I can't work for 20 hours on that piece. I'll just lose my mind. So I need a space where I can just walk around and be loose. And so I have these pieces that I just throw paint at, you know, like this bucket of paint right here. It's just a whole bunch of shit I mix together with my palette knife, chop it up, and then throw it on that painting, you know, like right in here. That's all just me just throwing the pigment. So this is the firing range, the firing squad, you know, if you want to look at it in that sort of erratic way. I really like this studio space because you have all this, like, random junk over here, and it really goes with my ideas. I'm into mixing things, and so, like, if I ever want to, I'm at a lack of materials. I'm like, I need a new idea. I walk over here, and this is shit that's used to maintain a house, you know. I have this, like, very natural human living environment that surrounds me, like that corner of junk, like those toys over there. Yeah, mixed media of urban junk. I think this space is a very expressive example of how I approach things aesthetically. It's a mishmash of ideas. Just people come in, and this is so incompleted, so it's so inviting to me. You know, there's so much empty space in here that I could create my own narrative in. You know, I'm seeing clouds in the light areas that contrast very much with the reality that this is a very piece of shit wall, very poorly cared for thing. Fucked up wall. And that's what attracts me, is making art in something that is terribly tormented and destroyed. I mean, these ideas right here, this is all a sculpture right here. Sculpture that I haven't completed. You know, that's a butane can that I found. Like, I found all these objects. This chair, found all these objects in, like, a wasteland. It was next to some train tracks and a junkyard, but a whole bunch of people's houses. So I couldn't tell who these things belonged to. I could tell they're human objects, but, you know, like, even, you know, the snow shovel was like, I'm going into a snowbank, and where's the thing that actually moves the snow? There's the handle. But all these objects are very, like,
very representational of the exact experience that I'm going for, which is going out, looking at a place, its destruction, its decay, and then interpreting that into an artistic reflection. It doesn't have to have a specific form. Like, I can develop that as I go, but you know, these all have their own little stories. Like, who the fuck did that belong to? Who did this belong to? Who did this belong to? Like, what house? What did that power? You know, what did that turn on? You know, what was in that bag? What car was that on? Who sat in that chair? All of these have very, very personal stories to them, but I don't know them, so I have to reinvent them myself.
Bunch of shit and all these bushes right in here.
You can imagine your camera's freaking out right now. It's like, where do I shoot? I was walking along, I was staggering, and was having a bad night, so I needed to come out and find some shit to paint over. And it occurred to me that I'm not a negative person. I'm not actually negative. That I wanted, I mean, this is some cheesy shit right here. I wanted to make some love. So, you know, I was walking along with my spray cans and I busted out my stencil and I started and I got to this one and then a car came along. I had a little bit of an adrenaline rush and I had to run away. I had to put my backpack on and just run.